Hey, Shalom and welcome to Karma Kapash from Jimis Learning, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachwadash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful that push to truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video, and I had this information in there. Brothers posted something in the chat, so thought I'd bring up some information on it, right? So it ain't looking good, for Esau's kingdom, man. It's closing down, right? In general, right? Economically, it's faltering, right? And in order to try to reassure you that everything is okay, you're declining, okay? And that decline is continuing. It's not, gonna resolve itself, man. Okay, until this place hits rock bottom, man. Right? Until there's absolute chaos in the earth, and it's already bad already, but we know that's gonna get worse, right? And all the signs are here, to show you that these are the end times, and this place is falling apart. Esau's kingdom is at its end. Okay, all the signs are here. Okay, so this is taken from the Telegraph here. It says nearly 50,000 companies are on the edge of failure as they grapple with a double whammy of steeper interest rates and consumer gloom. Right, because there's no bright outlook. You know what I mean? There's nothing to say, oh yeah, this is gonna save you. All right, it can't be saved. Hold on, I didn't put that one in here, but I just thought about it. Right, balm for her pain. Balm for her. All right, Jeremiah 51:8 says, verse 7, right? Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Okay, Babylon is, speaking about America, man, but America is the head of Esau's kingdom, right? But whatever's happening to America is happening throughout its whole kingdom, and even the nations that America rules over, it's all happening to these other nations too, man. Everything is looking bad for everybody. Okay, so Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of a wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Okay, there's no way to save your nations, to save your economies, right? You're gonna plunge into depths of darkness, right? Into despair, right? Because that is the Most High's will, right? And it's the elites that are, it's the Lord that's using these elites to do that. Okay, all this is orchestrated. It's all within their plans and stuff like that, right? To bring these countries down, to bring everything into chaos, because they wish to rule out of that chaos. Order ab chaos, as the phrase goes. Okay, order out of chaos. Right, that's how the elites envision themselves getting complete control over the earth and having you all sea hips, man. We see what Elon's doing with the brain sea hips. And these things are going to be very more and more prominent as the time goes on, right? Esau wants to capitalize out of this chaos that he's orchestrating. Okay, so it's not even that they don't even want to heal it. Okay, but the Most High, it's not, he's not going to allow it to be healed and to reconsolidate, because Esau, he believes, obviously, once he gets his the grip on the world, right, that he can make it to whatever he wants. He can be healed. No, you ain't gonna heal this, man. All right. But anyway, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right. So there's no saving America. There's no saving, Europe and the UK, and there's no saving none of this stuff, man. Okay, it's going down and it's staying down, right? We're back here, right? So so 50,000 companies are on the edge of failure as they grapple with a double whammy of steeper interest rates and consumer gloom. New figures from a leading insolvency practice show hikes to corporation tax and the national living wage are also adding to costs for debt-laden businesses. Yeah, because these because apparently they can't cope with it. You've got so many rich people, at the top, but these men can't afford it, but they're still getting paid. So they always blame the workers, right? They don't want to pay the workers. I mean, having workforce is a heavy cost. because especially you've got a lot of employees, but this is why a lot of people are getting sacked, right? That's why a lot of stores are closing down, because at the end of the day, at the top end of everything, these men don't want to lose their profits, right? Even though they're mega rich already, but they don't want to lose their profits. So they'd rather sack you, close down stores, right? So they can maintain their profits, so they can, buy another yacht. It's so fucking crazy. These men are not really struggling. Okay, but they make it sound like, oh, these businesses are struggling. These people at the top are struggling. They're not struggling. They got more than enough capital to keep everybody employed. Yeah, it's going to cost them. Yeah, sure, of course it will. And they don't want to do that. They'd rather see you out on the street, suffering, struggling, going to food banks. That's what they'd rather see, rather than oh, we made a couple billion less this year, or a couple million less this year. They'd rather see you out on the street struggling, man, because that's Esau, the devil. All right. I'm gonna open this in a second. Said UK tipped into a recession, right? Because they're expecting it. More than 47,000 UK businesses on brink of collapse, warns insolvency experts. Right. So let me just quickly take a peek in here. Begbie's trainers red flag alert warned that 47,477 companies were in critical financial distress. This whole place is in distress, man. Okay, and we're at critical point. All right, and that was at the end of 2023, an increase of 10,000 since September. It's moving quick. All right, 26% surge from the third quarter is the second consecutive period where critical financial distress has grown by more than a quarter. That's a terrible trend. Many companies on the list are expected to go bust, leaving workers unemployed and creditors out of pocket. But like I said, these guys at the top, they walk away with their money, man, because they've made their money. Any company which is consumer facing is feeling the effects of the cost of living crisis, and the days of cheap money are over. Yeah, the days of actual money is over. Well, this is all fiat currency, but it's all going to go digital. Okay, which is another thing I want to touch on. Consumer confidence is very low, and they're having to pay more for their debt. It's going to be a hard year. It's a double whammy. Woe to them that's laid themselves in thick clay, okay, in debt. This place it was doomed. It's doomed. Like America's debt. You look at the debt clock, man. They could never repay that ever. Right? These nations are doomed, man. Everyone's racking up this debt, money doesn't exist, right? And they're in debt to the elite, to the elite banking families. They're doomed, man. These nations were bound to fail. All right. Companies who borrowed to stay afloat during COVID are also having to repay their bounce back loans, compounding to the financial distress. The Bank of England base rate interest rates of 5.25% have increased the cost of servicing debts taken out when borrowing costs were at historic lows. Yeah, took that for granted. The Bank of England began raising its interest in 2021 from a historic low of 0.1%, and rates have hit a 16-year high. All right, so that's all the point, right? So let me grab this quickly. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 4 says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grind is low. Right? That's all the unemployment, okay, and the store closures, right? And there's more of them coming, obviously. He's reading it, right? And he shall rise up to the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, so another article here, okay, again from the UK, but this is the same throughout the rest of the world, man. People are having these issues. Okay, nations are having these issues, right? So there's a lot of places closing down, right? Here's the full list of high street stores closing in 2024, which means unemployment. Which means hungry people. It means angry people. Okay, which is all setting up the scene for prophecy to be fulfilled, man. All right. Last year was a bit of a whirlwind for high street closures. Here's what we know about the shops leaving us in 2024. Putting things plainly, it's a bleak time for Britain's high streets. Stores have been shutting up shop left and right and centre over the past few years. shit would be closing down, man. And now it appears that even more are joining Debenhams, Woolworths, and Topshop in the graveyard of high street retailers, right? And then they try for a caveat, and it's not all terrible news though. Some companies are simply closing a bunch of their stores so that they can prioritize expansion everywhere. We've got all the information on how your local high street is expected to change over the next 12 months, right? But like I said, people are getting sacked, so it is bad news, right? So we got the store Boots here, which is like that used to be like a pharmaceutical place, but it sells a bunch of different shit in it, right? So 300 Boot stores, okay, will disappear by the end of the year. Right? Yes, it's a pharmacy chain, right? Or was that 300 closed in 2023? Crazy. You know, there's a lot of places. You know, Wetherspoons is a go-to pub here in the UK, cheap, cheaper than most pubs, right? So everyone goes there. But even these men are close up their stores, man. And these guys have been fairly bulletproof in terms of like the pub scene. You know, you've had a lot of other pubs, more independent pubs and smaller chain pubs. We can close them down because obviously typically they're more expensive, so less people go there. So they've been staying around a lot longer than these other pubs. But these men have got to close up shop. 41. Oh wait. I think 41 are planning on being closed, and these are extra to that list. I think. You know, look, spare places. Oh, the Coronet is closing down. Damn. The Gunners are not gonna like that. Even Costa taking the hit. You know, a couple places. Clinton's, which was a card store. Yeah, I don't know who goes Clinton's anymore. Anyway, man, they're getting that priced by these other companies, right? Argos, typical, everything store kind of thing. These are already gone real cold. Iceland, it's just a bunch of stuff, man. Look, right? And I said that's you know, a part of this, right? I guess 50,000 companies face collapse as the debt storm breaks. That could be separate from that. Who knows, man? It's just a lot of places, man, just closing down. It's just not a good sign for your kingdom. It's not a good sign at all. All right. Well, I'll come back to that in a second. All right, what we got? It's 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. All right. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The four storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right? You're going to find a lot of these places just fucking empty buildings, man. Nothing in them. Especially your supermarkets, which we want to get into, right? Because, even these, actually, I thought that was here. Oh, no, that's a different article. Yeah. So, I mean, you probably have these supermarkets closed down, of course. But what I wanted to get at this article was the fact that they're changing these a lot of these stores into cashless, man. Right, even more and more. It's something that's not going to stop. It's not going to reverse itself. Okay, this is the trend that's going to happen. It's going to eventually take over all stores. Right. So not only are these places going to be closed down, your money's not going to be no good in them. Right, because Esau's preparing you for a digital system. Right, so you're even going to be further ostracized if you can't get on board with this, man. Because there's a lot of people, there's a group of people out there that don't like the idea of this. Of course, they don't want to get on board with it, but they're going to have to. We don't, they want to use cash. Well, you're not going to be able to at some point. You're going to just have to admit that. My dad's one of them. He'd rather just do everything through cash and whatever, but he's not going to be able to. He's going to find it very hard to transition, man, because he's been resisting this whole time. But, this is all setting up the MOTB, man. When they get rid of the cash, the MOTB, UBI, Universal Basic Income, that's all going to come into place. Because you ain't going to be able to work because everybody's been sacked from their jobs. There ain't no more jobs out there. Everything's closing down. Right, so you're going to have to go on Universal Basic Income. Right, and you might get that with no strings attached to start off with. But the time will come where you're gonna need the MOTB to receive those funds, right? To be able to get your provisions, you know. So we got here from the Sun, cash out, right? The stores that will and won't take your cash revealed as British shops move to card-only payments. That's the future. And we've been telling you that for years. We're getting about O's and Apostles, right? So high street chains opting to go cashless are causing a headache for hard up people desperate to budget more, right? So there's a group out there, that don't want it, obviously. The post office this week reported a 20% rise in the number of customers withdrawing notes from its branches compared to last year. Right, so them guys that love cash have been taking their money out, right? Because they find it easier to budget that way. Okay, because times is hard, right? A spokesman said we're seeing more and more people increasingly reliant on cash as the tried and tested way to manage a budget. Our latest figures clearly show that Britain is anything but a cashless society, right? And so that might make it sound like, we're far from this. We're not. It's not that. But you got pockets of places where people just, they don't want to go cashless because these numbers of cashless of the cashless thing is up and up every fucking year. Like most people don't use cash anymore. Most people, yeah, more than 50% of people don't use cash. Right, I'm not sure exactly what the figure is, but most people no longer really use cash anymore. Right, but you might have like a certain percentage of people that do, and don't really want to use cash, their cards and that kind of stuff. Right, but check this out. Right, this little experiment they did. Okay, so we went to 3 cities and found some of the biggest chains, including Pizza Hut, Prezzo, Brasseries, have gone cash free. These places have gone cash free. On the 7 venues visited in London, 6 would not take notes or coins. Would not take them. Would not refuse. Would not take them. Refuse them. Right. So you can't just go in there and with cash and pay. No, you can't. They're not going to accept it. Right. London, 86% didn't take cash. Okay. What's this here? It says here's what we found across the capital, Birmingham and Newcastle. Yeah, that's a bit of a jump. Anyway, our first stop in London was Pizza and pasta favourite Prezzo in Islington, where signs immediately made it clear it was card only. Right, the whole chain went cash free when reopening after the pandemic. Right, so again, that was a good catalyst to incorporate these things. With the fear of spreading the CV around. Right, good chance to implement more of this. Right. Staff told us the decision was initially a health and safety thing, right? But people frequently ask if they can use cash. But no, they don't accept cash no more. Even if they ask, even if people want it, they ain't gonna reverse it. At nearby Pizza Hut, we were told that that all its restaurants no longer take cash either. All its restaurants, right, don't take cash. The Sawdridge branch of sushi chain Itsu is also cashless, like the rest of its shops nationwide. All branches of that chain don't take cash. A worker told us how one customer was so enraged he shouted at them, "It's against the law to refuse my money." Well, guess what? It ain't. Right? Companies can put in place what fashion they want to take British pounds. Right? If it's digital only, then it's digital only. Right? You better put that money on your bank card, your debit card, your credit card, or you better put it on there. We will take it that way. They have the right to do that. Okay. The coffee chain Pret a Manger in Shoreditch was one place that did accept cash, although some of its other 300 London restaurants no longer do. It's a dying thing, and you should know this was happening. Croydon's Korean Japanese restaurant Kokoro stopped taking cash after the pandemic. But Tajamal Hussein, who owns cash only sweet corn store Magic Corn in town, said, "I probably lose 45% of customers because they can't pay by card." So some places it doesn't work out for them. And I've seen these little stores, it ain't nothing major, but Harvey Walker, manager of the butchery in Spitalfields Market, which is card only, was happy to get rid of cash. He said it's safer, easier, and it stops us having to go to the bank all the time. Yeah, who really wants to go to the bank? Go find a cash machine or whatever. Martin Foster runs the Indian next door, selling Indian snacks nearby. It's also gone cashless. He said, we use contactless because of security with staff. They don't want people stealing from them. They don't trust their staff. Right, so for most, okay, I'll see what they've done. Right, see what they're doing. Right, so in London, 86% don't take cash. In Birmingham, I'm not gonna go through this whole article because it sounds like it's gonna be long. Right, but Birmingham 50% of them didn't take cash. What was the other city they went to then? Newcastle, 43%. Right, so these smaller economic dense hubs, right? They take a bit more cash, right? But London obviously is the city center, the country, the capital, right? It's dense population, right? They've gone mostly cashless, and it'll be the same for these other places as well. Eventually, more and more, especially when this place collapses, right? So you can see the trend, right? And all this is going to add this into the pressure, into this anger, and into dependency to the state. Okay, when all this falls apart. Okay. I'm reading it again. And suddenly shall the song places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, and you're gonna have to go to your governments to get your provisions, man. But they're gonna be requirements. Okay. Revelations 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? There's going to be requirements for you to be able to buy and sell anything, to purchase anything. Right? And they ain't going to be accepting cash. So if you need it and you want it, right, you better have the MOTB, otherwise you're not getting it from them. Okay, for us, we're not going to rely on that, so we ain't going to worry about that. We ain't going to focus on that. That's not a concern to us. Okay, because we're going to, wait upon Yahweh Shem Yahushai, trust and believe in Him to provide for us in that day. Okay, so we ain't going to worry about having to go through this and get, do what Esau says. We don't give a shit about that, right? But for you people out there that don't believe, okay, if you want your provisions and all that shit, you're going to have to get this, man. It ain't be no talking about, oh, you have to accept my money. They don't have to accept shit. They're not even gonna accept your bank card in that day. So you better put your arm out then. Get stuck. All right. It's Job 14 and 5. So seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou was appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Right. Like I said, this place is dying. Right. There's all the signs are there. Things are not going to get better. Right, things are closing down. People are losing their jobs, and people are going to become angry because they've been made poor and living in poverty, struggling to pay their bills and their rent and all that kind of stuff because inflation and all this all these economic problems. Right, I even had the news on earlier with I was on Euro News, and you got the French farmers, Belgian farmers. These farmers in Europe, man, they're actually doing shit. I mean, they're protesting, they're blocking up the roads and stuff like that in protest, because they ain't getting paid right, man. So there's lots of anger and resentment being built up. It's like a powder keg waiting to explode, man. And so when this place proper tanks, right, all hell's going to break loose, man. Right? Like I said, well, let me get this right. Daniel chapter 5, verse 25. Actually, let's read from verse 24. Then was part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Many, many tekel up fasten. This is an interpretation of the thing. Many, God have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Right? This kingdom is numbered. It has a limited amount of time, limited amount of days to rule, to be on this planet. Right? Unbeknownst to Esau, or to even us, right? We don't know how long his kingdom's got left, but we can see it hasn't got long left. Okay? The days of it have been numbered, right? So Tekel, thou art weighed in the balance and are found wanting. Perez, thy kingdom is divided. Right? Is this kingdom not divided too? Is it a kingdom divided by itself cannot stand? Right? That's written, right? And this place is hella divided. All over the earth, these places are divided, right? Which means it's doomed to fall apart. Okay. Thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. right? And that was obviously he's talking about Babylon, Belshazzar, right? But applying it to today, it's just a matter of time. This place is as a limited amount of time, okay, and it's all falling apart. The writing is on the wall. All the signs are here, okay. It's Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. The collapse of this place is going to be great, and it's going to be so chaotic. And everything we're watching now is just, like I said, it's all the signs, and, all the problems and issues are building up to this point, okay? Because even with the farmers, if they're striking and protesting, guess what? You're not getting no produce in. Because they're blocking the roads. These transport companies can't bring their shit in, man. Imagine that, right? So similar things that were occurring during the pandemic, because they couldn't move freely anymore. Things were getting blocked and backlogged, and things were perishing. These transport companies, or check out, was it the Panama Canal? The canal is drying up, man, and they find it difficult to move ships through there and stuff now. And especially with what's going on down in the Middle East, blocking those trade routes too. It's compiling problems, man. Right, this place is it's all broken. Okay, and eventually it's gonna break and explode and cause a whole bunch of devastating problems on the planet. Right, and the World War III, and all this back and forth, with Russia and America. Boy, it's 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 exciting times for us. Exciting times for us, man. Okay, just thinking about it, the craziness. It's gonna be mad, right? And that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Right. So we're not going to concern ourselves with the crazy things that are happening on the earth, and what Esau's going to try and make people do, because we're not really a part of that. Right. We're going to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai to guide us through all of that, man. You could trust in Esau and see where he leads you, but all you got to do is read Revelations 14, and you can see you can see the result of that. Right. So I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. So till then, I say shalom.